Good morning, everyone. This is Tim Wilmot speaking from Wizard Systems. Thanks for joining me today for this presentation to show you the capabilities of Workbooks CRM, what areas of your business it can address, and how my company, Wizard Systems, can help you with your CRM project there. Now, we run these short presentations every Friday, focusing on different aspects of Workbooks and CRM. And today we're going to look a little bit more closely at importing data. So you've just started using Workbooks, and maybe you've got Excel spreadsheets or some other system you want to import data into. How do you go about doing that? Now, this presentation will be approximately 30 minutes or so in duration. It's just a basic session. Everyone uses CRM in different ways. Everyone's got different requirements. I wouldn't have enough time this morning to go over all of the extensive capabilities of Workbooks. So after this session, if you want to explore the system in more detail, we'd love to organize more of a one-to-one session with you, and we can obviously then go over your specific needs and how you'd use it. Now, also on the call today, we've got about 25 people on the call this morning. I can see that recognizing some of the company names, some people are already trialing Workbooks and some people who are, I'm sure, have never seen it before. So excuse me if I'm going over some information you may already know about Workbooks. I've got to go at the speed of the slowest, so to speak. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one way only. Your microphone is on mute. If you've got any questions, please type those into the questions section on your meeting control panel, and I'll do my best to answer those towards the end of the session. Now, also this presentation is being recorded. Afterwards, you'll receive an automatic email from our system with a link to recording, and we'll most likely put it up on our YouTube channel as well. Okay, so let's get started then. Just a brief mention about my company, Wizard Systems. We are an independent supplier of CRM systems. We've done this for a long time. We've implemented well over 3,000 systems all over the UK and further afield as well, into all different types of companies, both public sector and private sector. Now, as you know, Workbooks is a cloud system, so there's nothing to install. You don't need to worry about backups or upgrades. And we have some customers that do their own thing with Workbooks. They set it up themselves. They teach themselves how to use it. There's plenty of resources out there to assist you. But we're here on hand to help you in any phase of getting your system set up, the implementation, customizing Workbooks to your requirements, importing data, which is what we're going to talk about today, training you and your colleagues on how to use Workbooks. We can visit you at your offices, or you can come to us. We're based in Bristol. Or we can do training online if it's not possible for you to travel, or time doesn't allow you to do that. And we provide all the ongoing support as well. We've got a nice friendly help desk service here to assist you should you have any queries. So in working with you, what we want to try and get at is what are the key issues you're looking to solve? What are the objectives you're looking to achieve with a new workbook system? Are you looking to replace an older legacy CRM system? Are you starting up in business and you recognize the need to help you develop your business? Are you looking to do better marketing, track your sales and quotes more effectively, acquire more customers, improve customer service, or a combination of all of those? And in fact, a lot of those topics we do cover on our regular Friday sessions, so stay tuned for those or catch up with them on our YouTube channel. So what is Workbooks? Well, it's a central system to easily manage in an affordable way, manage all the information about your leads, your prospects and your customers, and all of your interactions with those people as well. So it's a great way of sharing information, improving teamwork in your company. There's some marketing tools in there as well to help you be more targeted with your communications to your prospects and customers. Now, unusually for a CRM system, Workbooks can also create sales quotes, and there's an option for then creating orders and invoices and purchase orders to suppliers. There are two different editions of Workbooks when you sign up for Workbooks proper. There's CRM edition or business edition. You can mix and match these two editions. Essentially, business edition allows you to do the order processing and financial stuff. Both editions will go up to quote stage, but if you then want to have all of you or some of you create orders and invoices, then you'll need the business edition for those users. So that's just remember that, those two different editions there, CRM and business. All editions will allow you to track customer service. Do you have a help desk? Do you need to track calls relating to complaints, issues, problems? Workbooks can do that for you. And as well as it being a great productivity tool, making you more efficient, making you more responsive to client requests, it's a great management tool as well. It's a great tool to help you make decisions, manage the business more efficiently. Now, Workbooks, as I said, it's a cloud system. All the data is in the UK. It's a very secure system. In fact, Workbooks has been certified in all of the 6 releases of the government G-Cloud certification program. Basically, if you're central government or local government, you can't use a cloud application unless it meets these security levels, which Workbooks does. It's very reliable. Last year we had an uptime of 99.99%, and it's very popular. In the last 3 years, we've won the UK CRM Product of the Year 2013, 2014, and 2015. So just homing in on some of those capabilities in a bit more detail. So Workbooks is essentially one big database, allowing you to share all of your contact information there. It's very customizable. Shortly when I show you the system, you can change. You don't need to be a programmer. You can change those screens. You can add fields. You can take fields away. You can also have different security levels in your system as well. By default, everyone can see everything, but maybe in your company you need to hide things from people or stop people doing things that they shouldn't do. You can do that. You can have different access and user group roles in Workbooks. You're using the system to track all of your daily activities. It manages your schedule. You can delegate activities to team members, thereby improving teamwork. So a great way of tracking your calls, your meetings, all of the actions, thereby building up a wonderful history of all of the activities that you've done and your colleagues have done with that customer. Now, we integrate with any email system. In fact, there's a very nice integration with Outlook. This is an option. When I use the word option, that does mean it's slightly extra, and I'll come on to pricing at the end of the presentation, but we can interface with any email system. So as you send and receive emails through whatever email application you're using, those emails are being copied into the Workbooks database, thereby visible against the client's record, your emails and your colleagues' emails. So a great way of having visibility of that email online activity there. And we work with any browser, and there's a mobile app included, so whatever device you're using, mobile, tablet, browser, you've got access live to your Workbook system wherever you are. There's a marketing aspect to Workbooks, so you can easily, what we're going to talk about today, is easily getting data into Workbooks to start using it. The flip side of that is exporting data. You can easily export part or all of the information to common file formats like Excel or a CSV file. Also, do you have a contact form on your website? Most people do. That can be integrated also with Workbooks. So thinking about the ways of getting new inquiries into the system, leads in the system. So somebody visits your website, they fill in their details. That becomes a lead record in Workbooks. And also there's a little bit of automation and workflow in the system, so it can alert you automatically to inform you that you've got a new lead that you need to act on. So everything is recorded, everything is logged, and there's some kind of follow-up action for somebody to respond to. So before doing any marketing campaign, you can easily create lists, groups of people that have something in common. And we integrate as standard in Workbooks, and this is included with your subscription. We integrate with 3 very popular email marketing systems, MailChimp, Constant Contact, and .mailer. MailChimp is probably the most popular one that we come across. And basically, with this integration, the list that you create is uploaded automatically to MailChimp, so there's no need to export data from Workbooks and import it into MailChimp. MailChimp will then allow you to create your nice looking email. It would deliver the email, but importantly, with the integration, automatically coming back into Workbooks, we can see against a customer's record, we can see what emails they were sent, what did they open, what did they click on, did the email hard bounce, so there was some problem with the email address, or of course, did they unsubscribe? We still have a record of them in the Workbook system, but we are no longer able, the system will prevent us mailing to that person. So managing the sales process, a fundamental part of any decent CRM system, and not many CRM systems can do this, as I've said, but we can create a nice looking professional sales quotation. You can store your price list if you have a standard price list. It doesn't matter if every quote is different, every client project is different, but if you do have a price list that can be uploaded, imported into Workbooks and help you build up your quotation. You can define different quote layouts. These layouts are defined in a PDF format, and you can email directly from the Workbook system. Just with a couple of clicks, you can email that quote out there, all tracked in the history of the client's record. And fully integrated with the way that we track opportunities in Workbooks as well. So as you're generating these quotes, it's building up the value of your pipeline, your sales forecast. So it's easy to see there what sales are due and when are they due and what's the probability and what products are they for and so on. Great information that Workbooks can give you. Plus, if you're using the business edition, thinking about the business process, the sales process, you can then convert a quote to a sales order, or convert a quote straight to invoice, or convert the opportunity to an order invoice without the need for rekeying in information, so it saves you time. And in fact, if you're using Sage 50, there's an option, this does cost a bit extra, there's an option to take the order in Workbooks and transfer it to an order in Sage, again without the need for rekeying any information. Quick mention about customer service. If this is of no interest to you, you can disable this from your Workbook system so it's not interfering with you. But if you've got a support team, this would be a very important aspect of using the system to track service issues as cases, as they're called. That's the terminology we use. A case is a record of a customer problem or complaint. You can apply deadlines. It's all very customizable. You can track a trend or history of these issues, and you're building up sort of in a way a knowledge base of typical problems and resolutions to those problems. So last slide before we dive into the demo proper, putting your manager's hat on, using Workbooks. Hopefully you can see now we've got a great way of keeping an angle, keeping an eye on our sales activity levels. How many leads are coming in? How many calls are we doing? How many meetings are we doing? Your opportunities, what sales are due in? If we lost a sale, why did we lose that sale? Doing some analysis in that way as well. There's a report writer in Workbooks. There's approximately 50 or so reports to get you started, and complementary to the report writer are dashboards, graphical pie charts and bar graphs to really summarize key information for you. Okay, let's dive into Workbooks. As I normally do, I give a quick overview of the interface, and then we'll take a look a little bit more closely at importing data. So this morning I'm using Chrome. This will work with any browser. I've just logged into Workbooks, and what we see initially is what's called the Workbooks desktop. And if you haven't seen this before, you should straight away recognize it. It looks like your Windows desktop. Do you see, with the start button down there in the bottom left-hand corner and a Google-like search box to the right of that? You can type in part of someone's name or part of an address or part of the subject of an email. It will find it for you wherever it is in the system. But from that start button and the start menu, here we are. We've got access to all of the important elements that build up a proper CRM solution, with right at the top there, people and organizations, people and companies, the main building block of any CRM system. Then lower down, we can see access to all of the activities that we've got on the go right now, all of the emails that we've recorded in workbooks or might have come over from Outlook, support cases. Here's my sales section. This is where you can easily look at all of your leads, all of your opportunities, all of your outstanding quotations and other sales items as well. If you're a marketing person, this is where you can manage your campaigns, your mailing lists, managing your products and services, marketing collateral as well, that can be stored centrally. If you're a finance person and you're using the business edition, this is where you can see all of your customer information, transactions, supplier transactions, POs, and also there's an option for tracking customer contracts. Again, not many CRM systems can do that. So let's dive into organizations first of all. And up pops, when I select that, up pops what we call the organization's landing page. A bit like Excel, row by row, all of the companies in my system. With those columns there, you can see 4 columns. You can decide what columns you see in this summary view. Down the left-hand side here, we can put people into different groups to easily dive around and see, for example, these are all of my prospects. These are all of my live customers right now. So very easy to navigate your way around there. If I dive into an organization record here and show you a bit more information about the level of detail we can track against the people you're servicing. So this is a record of a company, a new window's appeared. We've got some tabs running across the top there. More on those in a minute, but initially we're on the main tab. This main tab displays the key information about this organization. Now you can change this. You can remove fields from here if they're not relevant. You can add fields to it. We can import data into any of these fields. We can search on any of these fields. We can report on any of them. We can create marketing campaigns based on any of this information that you see here. Also, you can define different screen layouts for different people or different types of companies. Again, not many CRM systems can do that. Then running across the top here very quickly, I'm not going to go through this in any detail, but we've got some general notes. The notes tab is also where you can store and upload files relating to this client. So if there's an important document or similar, that can be uploaded there. Activities, phone calls, meetings, tasks, they're all displayed here. Again, row by row, you can decide what columns you see here. You can create new reminders here. There's quite a few ways of doing this, by the way. Also, if you're using the Outlook integration, these tasks, these activities will be shared with Outlook. Emails either via the Outlook integration or whatever email system you're using, Gmail, Yahoo, Apple, they're all visible there. Opportunities, what opportunities are on the go with this client, and we can click into any of these and see a bit more information about that opportunity. So here we are, there's an office refit opportunity there. Again, this is all very customizable. In the top half of the screen, we've got the main information about the opportunity. And if you wish, we can, in the lower half of the screen, record the individual products that build up this opportunity. From here, we can easily create a quote, an order, an invoice, a contract, all very easily done from that opportunity. Any transactions, any quotes, orders, invoices, contracts will appear there. We can click on those and drill down and see them in more detail. Cases, any support issues on the go right now with this company. Again, you can decide what columns you're seeing here, and you can create and log new support cases very easily in the top left corner there. Marketing, what campaigns is this person on right now? Have they responded to anything? All of that information visible there. Now within that company, you might be dealing with a number of different people. So here's an example of 3 contacts in this organization: Alan, Gracie, Kate. And if I dive into Alan's record, in a similar way to what we saw with The company record, here we have a record of a person, and again, just an example of the information that we can record against a person. This can be completely revamped by you. You can remove fields, add fields here, search by any of this information. But we got here all the key contact information, job titles, salutations, their contact details, all over the place in workbooks. There is an assigned to, there's an ownership. So when you put a lead in, when you put an activity in, when you log an opportunity, when you create a quote, who is responsible in your company for managing that thing, managing that record through to its ultimate conclusion? So this would be the name of the salesperson here that's in charge of that particular client. So there we are. That's a quick run through of the interface, an example of a customer record. And we do, on our regular Friday sessions, we go into a lot more detail on things like opportunity management, marketing, customer service, and so on. So this morning, I'm going to go through importing. So, for example, you may have data already in an Excel spreadsheet or multiple Excel spreadsheets. How do you get that information into workbooks? Well, it's through the import function. So from my start button, here is the import feature here. I select that, up pops my import landing page, and down the left-hand side here, do you see these are all of the areas of workbooks that we can import into. Primarily, in most situations, it's the top two or a combination of them, people and organizations. But lower down, if you've got records of outstanding or previous activities that you've done with your clients, you can import those in there. Support cases, current sales projects you're working on, quotations, notes, and so on. A whole heap of other options and areas that you can import into. This morning I'm going to do a straightforward import of people. So I select people here, and I'm going to be presented with just a few screens, just a few simple screens that will guide me through this process in selecting the file, mapping the parts of that file, the fields, the columns, if you like, as we saw the columns in Excel, to fields in workbooks, and a few other options as well. So step number one, what file do we want to import? So here's a file I created earlier, a test CSV file. So CSV is the file format that we support with workbooks, comma, separated values, easily created from Excel. And in fact, in my little preview pane here, we've got an example of this file I'm wanting to import. The first row generally contains the field names from your source file. So we've got first name, last name, telephone, postcode, and job function. You'll notice that there's those little commas there. They're splitting up, they're delimiting one field from another. So I'm going to select that file here, first of all, and click Next. At this second screen, here it's just confirming those details. We could also, from a point of checking our own sanity, we could just take a look at that import file, and we can see it's properly behaved there where all the columns appear in the right place. Click Next. Now we're at the very important screen here. This is where we're defining the mappings. So there are three columns appearing here. On the left will be visible all of the fields that Workbooks hasn't found a location for, hasn't found a mapping for. So your fields would be down the left-hand side. The source fields, if you like. The target fields, the fields that we can import into, depending on the type of import we're doing, are down here on the right-hand side. You can see here all the common information that we may have against our contacts and clients. In the middle are fields that have been successfully mapped with our source data and the target in workbooks. And you can see that it's done a pretty clever job at matching the postcode. Tel has been matched to telephone, first name to the person name. That little star there is a required field. Obviously, being a CRM system, we've got to have somebody's name in there. Now, so it's done some fields automatically for us, but one field has been left on its own, that job function field. It couldn't find a home to go to. So if I just click on that, I can now manually map it to my chosen field in Workbooks. So I can just click on this drop-down list next to a field here, and in alphabetical order, these are all of the fields in the Workbook system relating to people. And there we are. There's a job role field. That sounds to me pretty obvious as a way of mapping that to that incoming field. So I save and close this. Job done. No more fields to import. I'm now ready to go. Just one other thing. Maybe this import data, maybe I want to allocate all of these people to a salesperson. So I can now add in another manual mapping, a bit of fixed information. So I click on this add mapping button here, and let's say I want to select now the assign to. Remember, the assign to is the name of the salesperson that we want to allocate to this job. So we want to add in a fixed value. What's the fixed value going to be? Well, let's put in my name as an example. Save and close. There we are, job done. That mapping, that fixed mapping has been created. Well, we're now ready to go to the next step. We're nearly there. At this stage, we can also define whether we're creating new records here, but you may already have existing records in your workbook system, so we can actually do a little bit of deduplication here. And there are some new dedupe features out very shortly with workbooks. Or maybe we're just updating existing records. Maybe you are subscribing to some database broker like Dun & Bradstreet, and every month you get new information or updated information given to you. So you could update existing records in that way by using some common field to define how the incoming data finds a home to go to. So I'm going to create new records here, click Next, and run the import. So the import now is run in the background. Workbooks will alert you via email when that has been completed. Normally it's very, very quick. If you've got several thousands of records, it might take a few minutes. If I just refresh this screen, we can see here that this has been done now. The nice thing about Workbooks import is that there's an approval process. Now, in most other CRM systems, when you import data, those records have gone into the system. If you then suddenly find out that you've made a mistake, you missed out some information, you've mapped incorrectly one field to the wrong field in Workbooks, you've got to delete that data and start again. Not the case with Workbooks. It's being held in a sort of waiting area where we can actually look at the records that we've imported here. Only me importing this data can see this information. None of my other colleagues can see this until I approve of it. So I'm just going to click on this approve button. Obviously a little prompt here. Are you really sure you want to approve this import? Yes, I am. Thank you very much. And job done. That data has now been imported into Workbooks and is available for all of my colleagues to use. So if I do a little search for one of my imported contacts here, someone called Irene, do a little search there, there's Irene, the person's record, click on her, there we are, there's the information. Obviously a few gaps there, but you get the idea, and we just dismiss that little prompt there. Top right corner, there's my assigned to name automatically populating all of those imported records. So there we are, importing of people. There's lots of many other options. You can do quite sophisticated things with imports. I'm just brushing the surface there of the capabilities of that import feature. So as I normally do on our weekly sessions, I do cover a little bit of pricing before we go into our question and answer session. So here are the subscription prices for Workbooks. Here's the two editions, CRM Edition or Business Edition. These are the prices per user plus VAT. So it's 228 per user per year for the standard CRM edition. If you want the Outlook integration, if you want to integrate your emails and share in a bi-directional way your calendars, tasks, contacts, the Outlook integration can do that. That's £48 per user per year. And then apart from the subscription, think realistically, what help do you need? What help does your company need in getting the system up and running? Do you want any help in customizing the system, importing the data, writing reports, integrating workbooks to other applications, training? Would you benefit from some advanced or introductory training? And some of the support options that we've got as well. I think we will only know that when we have a chance to speak with you. We can get some communications going and try and find out what your needs are there. So there's the overall subscriptions, and we can give you a formal quote for your requirements once we know what you require. So I now like to open out our presentation to any questions that you may have, and I think looks like there's a couple of questions already. Question from Jeanette: how do you create a pick list in workbooks? Jeanette, so a pick list is, so when we click into a field, we have a drop-down list of typical common entries into that field. It's all defined in the configuration part of workbooks. You go to configuration, customization, and look at your pick lists. You'll be able to see the existing pick lists. There's quite a few in there, and you can create your own pick list there as well, Jeanette. Next question from Conrad: how do you create a CSV from Excel? You just do, so in Excel, make sure your columns are, Excel's quite good in that you can do a bit of sort of data preparation, making sure your columns all have consistent information, there's no blank rows. But basically in Excel, you can do the file save as, and the file type would be CSV. It should be one of the standard options on Excel there. Okay, let me just see if there's any more questions. One from Nicholas: with Outlook integration, does it just start from now? What about history? You can actually copy over old emails as well if you want to, Nicholas, so that's easily done as well. Okay, I don't think there's any more questions coming through, so thanks very much for those 3 questions, everyone. Just remains for me to thank you for your time this morning. Hopefully that's been of interest to you and given you a bit of insight into how easy it is to import data and upload information into workbooks. Stay tuned for our other regular Friday morning Workbooks CRM sessions. Catch up with previous ones on YouTube. Do you need a more detailed presentation now of the system? We'd be only too happy to organize that for you at a date and time to suit. Are you on a trial of the system? It's a free 30-day trial, no credit card required. Put it through its paces, upload data, see how it works for you. And indeed, if you want to consider a trial, have that presentation first. Let me take you through the system first, so at least then when you get on the trial, you know where everything is, you know how to navigate your way around the system. Okay, so thanks very much again for your time. My name is Tim Wilmot. There's my email address, tim@wizard-systems.com, our telephone number there as well. Thanks very much for your interest in workbooks and your time this morning.